Nithyanandam, and welcome back to my channel. Today, excitedly, I actually decided to record my experience of third eye reading after being initiated remotely by Swamiji, His Holiness the Avatar Paramahamsa Nityananda, during a program, a 2-day weekend program called Paradox of Freedom. We just finished it on the 15th and 16th of July. And the whole experience that I had of actually being able to see with the third eye, the experience that I had is what I wanted to record, share with all of you, and actually add it to the channel collection. Back in 2015, when Swamiji first started initiating participants into the third eye reading power, I found myself struggling. I found myself struggling to see anything apart from what I could see was how SDHD, which is self-doubt, self-hatred and self-denial that Swamiji has often spoken about in his satsangs, how that was gripping me. So after the first initiation ever in 2015, I was able to see that clearly. And over a course of time, I've seen many adults read through their third eye. I've seen Balasans that are in the Nityananda Gurukul in Bengaluru Adinam read through their third eye as well. But I found myself struggling and getting incomplete or feeling left behind, all of these things when I was not able to read through the third eye. So what I decided is, as Swamiji says, apply one more of his teachings is whatever is happening around me, in me, is I'm responsible for it. It's happening because I'm responsible. I'm creating it that way. When I looked in, I saw that the reason I was struggling to read with my third eye is because I didn't see the value of it, the utility value, how I could use it, where I could use it, what it meant, the details of it. I had not actually grasped. I had not grasped the importance of it. So over the course of time, I did complete. And when Swamiji announced the Paradox of Freedom and he announced the third eye reading initiation, I was so happy and actually excited to want to be able to do it now. Prior to this time, I used to feel like, oh God, not again. I'm going to feel like a failure. I can't do it, etc., etc. But having understood the importance of being in oneness with Swamiji, in oneness with Sadashiva, it became a simple application on my behalf, simple availability on my behalf, and simply the expression could happen. So when Swamiji announced this workshop, I think more than the participants, I was actually really, really excited and keen to find out what was going to happen. So I would say sincerely applied turmeric on my forehead before I went to sleep every night, ready in preparation for the Paradox of Freedom, which was to happen on the 15th and 16th of July. And during the first day, Swamiji actually gave us a really powerful initiation. And the next morning, when we came back, first thing, of course, we had the manifesting power session. So immediately we got into pairs. And by the time I looked around in the room, I didn't have a partner. So I thought to myself, well, how am I going to see if my third eye is actually operational now, as in terms of reading through my third eye? I waited patiently, and then second round, Swamiji had another initiation, which I was more than happy to receive. Another long, very long, both were pretty long initiations. And straight after the second initiation, I manifested a partner for myself to be able to run the manifesting powers session with, to practice with. I want to say practice is not so much practice as in how we understand in the outside world. It's more playing and expression, actually allowing the third eye to express. So I was more than happy to have manifested a partner. There was one odd person left in the second round, so we started obviously, and one was Nitya, one was Ananda. We were in pairs, and so the whole participants, the whole group was split into twos, and each had a rapid round where one was blindfolded and the other wrote something on a piece of paper and handed it over, and of course rapidly we just shared whatever Sadashiva was showing us in our third eye. So when I first started, I was a bit nervous. Obviously, the failures in the past were coming up, so I dropped that at Swamiji's feet. Whatever came up, I said, it doesn't matter. And of course, the alphabets I started to get right. So that built my confidence even more. Second round, I got more letters. And third round, I noticed that I had this uncomfortable feeling inside of me every time I was to allow Swamiji in my third eye and be in oneness with him. And I realized that there is something between me and Swamiji. It's not allowing the oneness to happen. And that was this feeling of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. And so I felt like, how could I even expect to be in oneness with Swamiji? And I was blindfolded for the third time, and my partner was writing something down. And of course, internally, all of this was going on where I was feeling unworthy. I was noticing what was going on. And clearly, I could see a blind spot for the first time. Exactly as Swamiji said, we'll be able to see our blind spots through these initiations. And I was able to drop that at Swamiji's feet. And as soon as the person gave me the paper, blindfolded, the first thing I saw was a screen. And on the screen was the image of Shiva. So I said Shiva. And the person said yes. And I thought, okay, this is good. And then I could see the snake. And the indication was, look at the snake. Then I said, oh, is it Kundalini? And the person said, close. Keep going further. Just keep going further. And of course, I kept looking and seeing what Sadashiva was showing me, but then it was a rapid round, so the time was up. Time was up, and I had to remove my blindfold and see what was on the piece of paper. And lo and behold, on the paper, it had the word Shiva on it, and on top of it was Shakti. So the Kundalini was pointing me along the lines of Shakti, and I was just too excited to be able to see a whole word, like to be able to have that kind of a breakthrough. So for me, a personal breakthrough has happened, and I feel a lot more empowered after the weekend sessions with Swamiji in Paradox of Freedom. Now, the next time Swamiji is going to be initiating us into more powers, it's going to be the glimpses of Mahasadashivoham, which is going to happen on 26th and 27th of August. Of course, there is inner awakening where all of these powers are readily available. Swamiji is going to initiate everybody into these powers, and the inner awakening is happening this July. So if you want to know more details, and if you'd like to actually register yourself, please feel free to put comments in the comments box, and I'll be happy to send you some more information. And if anything is an obstacle, like say sometimes money or time or relationship or not having permission, whatever, so anything that's actually an obstacle, feel free to contact me, and I'll be able to, you can write in the comments box below, and I'll be able to respond to you and offer you the support that can cause your reality of manifesting Shaktis. Swamiji, I mean, the journey with Swamiji is obviously always stunning. I've had my ups and downs, completions, incompletions, all sorts of things have happened. But I find that at this moment in time, since 2009, when I first got to know about Swamiji up to now, I've seen recent past, of course, since Sadashivoham is really taking off. Completely new people, new participants that are not necessarily been to see Swamiji physically even yet, are manifesting these Shaktis so easily. So there is something beautiful, really powerful that Swamiji is offering right now. And more than anything else, yes, I can read through the third eye. I've started to manifest that power, and I look forward to manifesting more and more of this power along with body scanning, remote viewing, as well as being able to move matter. All of these powers happening is an amazing experience. All of these are great. Now I'm learning how to apply them into my day-to-day life and to get the results that I want, manifest what I want as I want. So there are so many practical utility value qualities to what Swamiji is doing. And I welcome all of you to come and experience. Please do write in the comments box for any questions you have, any support you would like, and I'd happily be able to be available for you guys. Thank you so much for your listening, and I'll be sharing the links, of course, for in this particular session. I'll be sharing the links for the glimpses of Mahasadashivoham, because there are amazing products and initiations Swamiji is going to be offering. I wouldn't want you guys to miss out. So remember to catch it, and I'll share the links for Inner Awakening also. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your listening. Take care. Nithyanandam.